Some places hold secrets you can't see until it's too late. These are true paranormal stories from people who brought something home they can never get rid of. Turn off the lights, put on your headphones, and listen closely. Because once you hear them, the whispers never really stop. When she moved in, the rent was cheap. Too cheap. She didn't ask why, until the walls started whispering her name. Sophie was 23, broke, and desperate to move out of her parents' place. So when she found a small rental house at half the usual price, she didn't ask questions. A single-story bungalow, dusty but livable. The landlord only asked that she pay in cash and never talk to the neighbors about who used to live there. The first few nights were fine. Quiet, cold, a little drafty. But Sophie didn't mind. She unpacked her thrifted furniture, strung up fairy lights, and told herself she finally had a place to call her own. The first whisper came on the fourth night. She just drifted off to sleep when she heard it, a soft hiss, like someone breathing right beside her ear. She sat up, heart hammering. Nothing. Just the old house settling. She shrugged it off, turned over, and forced herself to sleep. But the whispers came back. Every night, always around 3:15 a.m. At first, they were just breathy noises, unintelligible, like wind under the door. Then they formed words. Sophie. It was her name, clear as if someone was lying right next to her in the dark. She snapped on her lamp. The room was empty. The closet door was open, nothing inside. She searched every corner, under the bed, behind the dresser. Nothing. She thought maybe she was dreaming. Stress, lack of sleep, old house noises. She tried earplugs, music, sleeping pills. But every night, 3:15 a.m., Sophie. Sometimes it sounded sad, sometimes angry, always right in her ear. One night, exhausted and half mad, she shouted back, "What do you want?" The voice fell silent, and for a moment she thought she'd won. But then something knocked. 3 sharp taps on the inside of her bedroom wall. She froze. The wall behind her bed connected to the empty guest room. No one lived there. She pressed her ear to the wall. The cold plaster sent a shiver through her. She heard it, soft, muffled, like someone whispering from inside the wall. "Let me out." She grabbed her keys and fled that night, driving to a 24-hour diner, too scared to go back until daylight. The landlord didn't pick up her calls. When she finally worked up the nerve to confront the neighbor, an old woman watering her garden next door, the truth spilled out. The last tenant, a young woman about Sophie's age, had gone missing 3 years ago. Police searched the house top to bottom. They never found her body. The only clue was a smear of blood in the guest room closet, and the fact that the previous landlord vanished the same week. Sophie broke her lease the next day, didn't even bother packing. She still hears the whispers sometimes, in dreams, in the hum of her car radio, in the static before her favorite songs. Sometimes, if she's very tired and the room is very quiet, she swears she can still hear it. "Sophie, let me out." He bought the old mirror for cheap. He didn't know he'd be bringing something home that refused to stay inside the glass. James liked old things. Flea markets, antique stores, auctions full of dusty junk nobody else wanted. He said it was about preserving history, but really, he liked the thrill of a good bargain. One rainy Saturday, he stumbled into a cluttered little shop on the edge of town. It smelled like mildew and old leather. In the back, half hidden behind moth-eaten curtains, he found the mirror. It was tall, nearly 7 feet, with an ornate wooden frame carved with vines and flowers that seemed to twist if you stared too long. The glass was warped in places, slightly dark, but still reflected well enough. The price? $25. The old shopkeeper looked relieved when James paid in cash and said he'd haul it away himself. Back at his tiny apartment, James leaned it against the wall in his bedroom. He liked the way it made the room look bigger, grander somehow. That night he dreamed he was staring at himself in the mirror, except it wasn't really him. The thing in the glass wore his clothes, had his face, but its grin was too wide, its eyes too dark. He woke up gasping, sweat-drenched. He laughed it off. Bad dream, new house vibes, old mirror weirdness. But every night the dreams returned. The thing in the mirror watched him sleep. Sometimes it tapped the inside of the glass with long, bony fingers that didn't match his own. When he woke up, the mirror was always cold to the touch, like frost on the inside of a window. One morning, half awake and stumbling to the bathroom, he caught a glimpse of himself in the glass. Except he wasn't standing still. His reflection lingered half a second too long, smiling as he turned away. He covered the mirror with a blanket. He told himself it was just stress, lack of sleep, old ghost stories stuck in his head. But he still heard it at night, a soft ticking like nails tapping glass. One night, fed up, he dragged the mirror down to the basement storage room. He covered it with an old sheet and locked the door. He thought that was the end of it. But the next morning, when he went to brush his teeth, he found a small shard of mirror propped against the bathroom sink. The same ornate wooden frame. His reflection stared back, and for a moment he saw it grin. Panicking, he ran to the basement. The mirror was gone. Just an empty corner and a pile of splinters where the frame had rested. It didn't stay in the basement. Every mirror in the apartment showed him something wrong. His reflection flickering like static, his eyes too black, his mouth moving when he was silent. He smashed them all. The bathroom mirror, the hallway mirror, even the little piece he found in the kitchen window. He moved out 3 months later. New apartment, new furniture, nothing old, nothing antique. But every now and then, when he passes a window at night, he swears he sees it, that thing wearing his face, watching from the other side of the glass. Sometimes, if he looks too long, it lifts its hand and taps, tick, 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 reminding him that mirrors never really break. They just wait. If you're still here, maybe you believe now. Maybe tonight, when you glance at your reflection, you'll wonder who's looking back. Thank you for listening, and remember, some doors, once opened, never truly close. Sleep well if you can.